What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. In today's video, we are going to be covering the update 12.2 rebalance to see if your hangar's fine or if it's absolutely cooked. But before we get started, guys, I'd massively appreciate if you use code NERDBOT in the web store so I can get out of this crusty ass chair. Just use the link in the description or type it in at checkout whenever you're making any kind of purchase. Without further ado, let's get straight into it. Alright guys, so let's just crack on with it. We will start with the Rex here, which is getting 10k extra HP, bringing it up to 285k. It's going to get an extra 2 kilometers of speed, bringing it up to 62 kilometers per hour. You're going to get an extra 4-second ability charge cooldown, which absolutely sucks. If you don't have that pilot that gives you 3 abilities, the Rex is somewhat cooked. DOT damage reduction from 60% down to 40%, so it's going to be able to absorb less damage in its ability. Damage bonus per DOT stack, removed by the built-in weapon, you're losing 33% of that, so it's going down to 0.2%. It's really not that relevant, but all these things add up into a weaker robot. DOT stacks removed per built-in weapon shot, 4 to 5, so you're going to actually remove more stacks of DOT every ability. Built-in weapon DOT per stack, 300 to 190. Once again, you know, 110 damage per second reduction. It's not that crazy because it wasn't really doing much in the first place. Built-in weapon particles per shot, 20 to 10. Now that is a huge difference because you're losing 50% there, and then the DOT of those shots are also being reduced. So the built-in weapon basically getting like a 60% nerf. Built-in weapon damage per particle, 2,750 down to 1,750, and now they finalized it on 750. So that is like what, 75% nerf or something stupid like that. So you add all of that together and you're looking at like an 85% nerf on the built-in weapon, which is absolutely cooked. I mean, it was doing a lot of damage before. So to summarize the Rex, it's getting a bit faster, getting a little bit extra HP, but its cooldown is being increased. It's doing way less damage with the built-in weapon, and you're going to be way less durable because you are, you know, not reducing as much DOT as usual. Now, Rex may be in the bin, I don't know, I think it'll be alright, but obviously not as strong as before. Moving on, we have the Teth here. The durability is being increased by 15k, so it's going to have 365,000. The movement speed is being decreased by 4 kilometers per hour, so it's going to be 46 kilometers per hour. Sandstorm cooldown increased by 2 seconds, so it's 15 seconds now instead of 13. The shield replacement time is going from 45 to 60 seconds. You're going to have to wait a whole minute to get your shields back. And I don't know about you, but there's not many robots in this game that even survive 45, let alone 60 seconds. So we'll see how the Teth survives. Now, this is the biggest nerf to the Teth. It's the rocket launcher range being reduced from 350 meters down to 100 meters, which is ridiculous. And the shield durability, 95k to 100k. So you're getting 5,000 extra shield durability, but it's going to take an extra 15 seconds to recharge, which is absolute trash. Now, one of the things that I personally like about the Teth is how mobile it is. But that is now being reduced because it's losing speed, and now it's losing a whole 250 meters of teleport range. So good luck catching anyone in there. The Hastatus, right, it's not being hit so bad. It's getting an extra 15k extra durability, bringing it up to 285k. The movement speed is being increased by 1 kilometer. Sounds really useless. I don't know why they even throw these random buffs in there. Quantum lock duration, 2.5 seconds. Down to 1.5 seconds. And I think a couple weeks ago it was 1 second, but they decided, hey, let's go somewhere in the middle. That's not bad, you know. Hastatus is still pretty good. It's got a nuclear amplifier, it's got the pilot that gives it shield breaker or grey healing, and the only thing that's really changing about it is 1 second less of the status barrier, which is alright. Moving on to the Hawk, the regular Hawk, by the way, not the ultimate Hawk. Its damage from the beam is no longer being affected by the weapon tier or the level of them or whatever the hell. But they seem to have done something weird here. So initially, before the rebalance, the Hawk's damage per particle was 1.1k. They increased that to 10,000 on the test server, dropped it to 1,800, and now they've settled on 1,650. So it is overall a buff, but, you know, I wish they'd kept it at 10,000, because we need some kind of like free-to-play Titan Slayers here. The Amit, maximum defense points from the Absorber from 100 down to 65, which is alright, you know, still like a good, I want to say like 33% resistance. I could be off there. You guys tell me in the comment section. Defense point accumulation rate, plus 50%. So you're going to get those defense points faster, but you're going to get less of them. Built-in weapon slowdown duration from 10 seconds to 5 seconds. Thank the Lord, I'm so sick of an Amit randomly shooting me and being slowed to crap and being taunted as well. Built-in weapon effective range, 350 to 200 meters. That's amazing again, you know, you don't want to be slowed by this dumb built-in weapon. And the built-in weapon damage per particle is being increased by 250, bringing it up to 1,600 per particle. Now, overall, I think that's pretty good for the Amit. It's still going to be an insane tank that's capable of reaching 1 million HP, but obviously the defense points are going to, like, reduce how much it can tank, and the built-in weapon isn't going to be so prevalent. So overall, the Amit is not getting completely cooked. Some random buffs in here for robots that nobody cares about. We got the Nether being brought up from 151 to 160k, and the movement speed once again being increased by 1 kilometer, so 56 kilometers per hour. Why are they increasing the Hastatus and the Nether by 1 kilometer? I have no idea, but there we have it. The Seraph, skyward cooldown 17 to 16 seconds, so it's losing a second for some reason. Really insignificant, and the built-in weapon damage up by 18%. So that's pretty good, you know. You've got your apparition that you use for killing spiders or ticks or whatever the hell they are in extermination, and so you're going to be able to do that a lot more efficiently now. The Aljun is gaining an extra 11,000 HP, bringing it up to 234k, and the built-in flamethrower is going up to 800 damage per particle. So those of you guys that use Aljun, small buff for you guys. I guess it will be relevant for some of you. The sword unit 192, so this is the ultimate sword. We're moving into the ultimate robot category now. The absorber damage bonus is going from 20% to 7%. So you're going to be able to do way less damage with your swings. And to put that into perspective, right? If somebody shoots 1,000,000 damage into your shield, you're only going to get 70k. 70k when before you would have got 200k. So that's like a huge difference. That's the only nerf though. The speed, the cooldowns, the health, everything else is staying exactly the same. Ultimate Typhon. Now we got quite a stack here of nerfs. The movement speed is going from 70 to 60. Now, 70 was already really high. Most robots sit around 60, so this isn't that bad. And you still get the speed boost from using your ability. Blackout V2.0, I'm just going to call it Blackout, is being nerfed. It's being increased by 4 seconds for the cooldown. The EMP duration's being dropped from 7 seconds to 5 seconds. Once again, it's reasonable, you know, 7 seconds is pretty long. The suppression and the lockdown are both being dropped to 5 seconds as well. We have the damage per particle of the ability being increased by 2k, really insignificant, and the Aegis capacity being increased by 20k. So now it's going to have 128,000 Aegis shield capacity, which is obviously good because when your pilot skills are increasing the base, then that percentage is going to, you know, increase the shield a lot more than it was before because the base is higher, right? So Ultimate Typhon, overall not bad. Really not bad. It's getting more shield. You know, the cooldown's being increased. It's getting less speed, but, you know, it's still going to be competitive. So, Ultimate Lancelot. You're going from 470k down to 390k, which is a huge nerf. I mean, that's like, what, 80k durability? The Ultimate Rush green repairs are being increased by 0.2% per second, and the same with the grey repairs as well. Now, the thing is, a week ago, they were increasing that by 0.5%, but now 0.2%. And it's losing an Ultimate Rush charge. So it used to have 5, now it has 4. So slightly better healing, way less HP, 1 charge less. So Ultimate Lancelot is not in the grave, but it is significantly less powerful. Moving on to the Ultimate Revenant here, we have the aggressive blink being dropped by 20% in terms of repair. So you used to have 30%, you're going down to 10%. Still pretty powerful. That's like similar to what the Dux was before, green and grey durability wise. But other than that, it's HP, shields, everything else is staying the same, including the cooldown. So just play it a little more conservatively. Maybe use your modules to supplement the amount of HP that you're trying to heal in your ability. And yeah, overall Revenant is still pretty okay. The Ultimate Griffin. Dazzling jump damage bonus, 5% more, so 15% when you jump. And the cooldown's being dropped by 1 second, so 11 seconds and 5% more durability. The hell am I saying? 5% more damage in your ability. Not bad. It's an alright buff, but you know, Ultimate Griffin, no one's really using it now anyway, so whatever. Ultimate Phantom, 2 kilometers per hour extra speed, and the blink cooldown's being dropped by 1 second. Once again, another really insignificant buff, but what can you do? Alright guys, now moving on to the Titans, we're going to begin with the juicy one. We're starting with the Princeps, 600,000 durability up to 635k, so it's getting extra durability, and like I said before, this will result in more because your pilot skills are percentage, right? So your base, percentage, boom, more HP. Null field duration, you're going from 12 seconds to 10 seconds. So you still get 8 stasis barrier stacks, but you have less time to use them in, you know what I mean? So overall for the Princeps, it's getting extra HP, it's losing 2 seconds of ability time, but what can you do? That's really not that bad. Devourer, from 500k to 530k, so 30k buff, not bad. Ao Ming, my Ao Ming lovers in the chat, you're getting an extra 10k HP, bringing you up to 412,000 at max level, which is ridiculously low, but what can you say? If you're not running the ultimate Ao Ming, get out of here, bruh. Ultimate Nodens. Now, this is the one that most of you guys are concerned about, because I know they were handing out Ultimate Nodens like hotcakes. You know, you could get it for upgrade tokens, you could get it in the Ultimate Comeback. So, defense points from 200 down to 130. Active support lifetime from 8 seconds to 5 seconds. So 3 seconds less link and 70 less defense points. So it's taking a hit to the durability there, but I think its durability staying the same. So really it's just going to have less defense points. Now that doesn't really matter against Titans unless you're in your repair amps, because they're going to bypass them anyway. But, you know, it's going to be a little more fragile there. Movement speed bonus from 15 to 21 kilometers when you're linked. So that's pretty good, you know. Suppression damage reduction from 90% to 60%. I always thought 90% was a little bit high. 60% is a little more reasonable. And you can enhance that with the pilot skill suppressor that gives you an extra 10%. So you bring it up to 70%. Disposal shot damage per particle. You get an extra 2k, so it's going to do more damage per ability. And the healing's being significantly nerfed. So you're going from 1.5% grey per second down to 0.5%, and you're going from 7.5% green down to 0.4%. So the green is taking a massive hit, and the grey, I mean, you know, it's expected. Active support defense points, you're going from 80 to 70, so you're getting less defense points per ability. Overall, the Ultimate Nodens isn't cooked. It's still going to be pretty good as a support Titan, but it's going to be less dominant, per se. So you might need, you know, 2 or 3 Ultimate Nodens to do the same as what, like, 1 would have done before, right? Anyway, so that's the Titans, and if you guys are enjoying this rebalance video so far, make sure to drop a comment down below if you want to see more of these videos, and use code NERDBOT in the web store. It massively supports my channel. I'm going to leave this PDF in the description if you guys want to check it out on your own time. And let's get into the drones. So we got the Bull here, DOT reduction from 20% to 10%. So this ties in with the Rex as well, because you remember earlier the Rex got 60% down to 40%. So the built-in shotgun is losing 15 particles. So you're going to, you know, be shooting out less. And the shotgun damage is being increased. So, I mean, it's overall a nerf because you're doing less particles, but those particles will do more damage. So, you know, it's overall a nerf, but it's not that bad. The Scarabaeus, you are going to do 5% less damage when they're EMP'd, so from 10% to 5%, and your 150% shield bonus is being dropped down to 50%, so you're losing 100% there. That's quite a tough nerf, and tying that in with the Teth, which is going to take 60 seconds to regenerate the shields, you may as well just write this robot off. It's in the grave now. What can you do? The scales, defense mitigation immunity from 7 seconds down to 4 seconds. Now, I don't know what the cooldown is. Yeah, 10 seconds cooldown, right? So you're going to have more windows where you can hit the Amit. Incoming damage per slowdown stack is being dropped by 0.1%. Somewhat significant. Now, one thing I want to mention here, guys, is when you nerf the drones and the pilots and all these kind of bells and whistles that make the robots so strong, that's really what's contributing to the downfall of the robot. So, you know, the nerfs a little higher up might not look so bad, but when the pilots and the drones are being nerfed, you have the whole build being affected, basically. And so you just got to keep that in mind. If your Hangar's using these builds and not some kind of like off-meta thing, overall it's going to drop by like a greater percentage than just looking at every item individually. So moving on to the pilots here, we have Meilan, taunt accumulation with the Amit weapon dropping by 0.5%, really irrelevant. Lucius Palmer, defense points ignored by Gladius and Pilum. 10% down 7%, and the shield breaker timing is only going to be active for 3 seconds instead of 5 seconds, I believe. Raphael Petit is now going to work with the new flamethrower weapons, which is amazing. Adrian Chong will not work with any weapons past update 12.2, and the same goes for Manny as well. So if you've got any content from before 12.2, these pilots will still work, but if you're relying on these pilots to be, you know, for future builds, don't count on that anymore. Okay, so into the juicy stuff, guys. Let's get to the robot weapons. So the Celsius, Fahrenheit, and Kelvin are all getting a damage buff. The light one's going up to 1350, the medium's going up to 2000, and the heavy's going up to 2650. The AoE radius is being dropped by 8 meters, so it's going to be sitting at 12 instead of 20, and the shot interval is being increased by 0.02 seconds. So it's going to do more damage, but it's going to fire less frequently, and then the delay before overheat is going to be 1 second. So don't overheat your weapons. You're going to take a slight hit in fire rate, but you're going to make up for it with more damage and less AoE. So overall, these weapons are taking a slight dial back, but they are way too OP at the moment, so can't complain. Velos, Machaira, and Basilius. Never know how to say that weapon. The rust effectiveness is being dropped by 10%, so going from 74.3 down to 63.4. It's losing 20 ammo, so you're going to have less shots to be able to fire, and it's going to accelerate faster, so it's going to have 20% extra acceleration. So you're going to have less shots, but you're going to get those shots out faster, and you're going to be reducing the healing of the enemy a little less, 10%. Hippo, Croco, Leodari. Now these are taking a big hit. Their damage is basically being more than halved. So you got 42k down to 20k for the Hippo, 63k down to 30k for the Croco, 84k down to 40k for the Leodari. The bonus you get from being shot is being halved as well, so 100% down to 50%, and you need to take 100k more damage to be able to reach that maximum charge bonus of 400k. Now, if you count all these things together, you're looking at like at least a 70% nerf on these weapons at maximum capacity, because they have way less potential in terms of damage, because you know, the cap is lower. You have to take more damage to reach that cap, and their damage is being more than halved for each individual weapon. Elox and Murix were losing particles again, just like the Rex and the Bull Drone. So you're going from 16 to 10 on the light, 25 to 20 on the medium. The heavy, I mean, doesn't exist, so why am I even saying that? Shot interval, it's losing some shot interval here. So it's going to lose 0.03 seconds, so it's going to fire a little bit faster, and the DOT is being reduced. So from the light, 300 to 200, and on the medium, 350 to 250. Gladius and Pilum, losing a significant amount of damage here. The light one is going down to 5,000 damage, and the heavy is going down to 10k. The reload's from 6 seconds to 9 seconds. So you're doing less damage, you're going to reload 50% more, but the shot interval's being reduced, so you're going to fire a little faster. Accuracy 33%. I thought they were pretty accurate already, but anyway, you know, you're looking at like way more than a 50% nerf on these weapons, but I guess they're old weapons, so it's a little overdue. Now, obviously, they got to chuck in some random buffs and nerfs, so we got the Typhon Labris and Hastatus with a 0.01 second shot interval reduction. Who cares? Rime Cryo Glacier, they're getting a little bit more damage, so, you know, you guys can see that on screen here, and 13% accuracy, which doesn't really matter because they had, you know, Splash to compensate for the accuracy. Toxin and Bane, they're getting more DOT, so 7 extra DOT for the light one, and 7 extra DOT for the heavy one. Moving on to the ultimate robot weapons here, we have the Ultimate Scatter, Havoc, and Devastator. Now these are getting their damage halved, basically, so you're going from 4.2k on each shot down to 2.2k. And the only difference between these weapons in terms of... So they all do the same damage, but they just have different amounts of particles. So the heavy has 10 particles, the light has 5 particles, the medium has 7. So pretty much half the damage, but the fire rate and everything like that isn't being affected. Ultimate Cryo is getting slightly butchered here. It's losing 1,000 damage from 4,000 to 3,000. And the shot interval's going from 0.04 to 0.15, 0.15, which is insane. If you quantify that, that's like a 70-80% nerf in terms of the weapon, because it's going to fire really slowly and do a lot less damage per rocket. Ultimate Cryos really didn't need to be done like that, but here we are. Ultimate Arm, the light and the medium, they're going up in damage per particle, but they're losing 5 ammo, so you're able to fire a lot less, but you do more damage per shot. Ultimate Halo, Corona, and Glory are losing a significant amount of damage here. The light's going from 1.2 down to 800, the medium 1,450 down to 1,200, and the heavy 1,800 down to 1,600. Don't know why that was called for. You know, I don't see Ultimate Storm on this list, so they're just increasing the disparity between the UE shotguns here. I don't like. And by the way, guys, I feel like I'm rambling for a while. If you're one of the viewers with a long enough attention span to be stuck around this long, tell me what you think of these nerfs in the comments section below. Alright, so moving on, we have the Ultimate Blaze and Igniter here. They're also losing a significant amount of damage. The light one's going from 1,400 to 850, and the medium's going from 1,800 down to 1,275. The Ultimate Redeemer is losing 3,000 damage per shot, which is crazy. That's a 30% nerf flat out. The Ultimate Calamity losing 300 damage. Once again, that's a pretty tough nerf. The Ultimate Avenger, 950 per particle down to 750. It's not really a strong weapon as it is, but now it's being nerfed even more. And the Ultimate Hussar and Dragoon, they're losing 2 ammo, and they're losing a significant amount of damage. So 8.7k down to 6.7k for the medium, and 11,600 down to 9,000 for the heavy. So once again, you're looking at like a 20-30% nerf on those weapons, which is just really unnecessary because they kind of killed it in the previous nerf anyway. Moving on to the Titan weapons, we have the Vincer and Veneer from 12 seconds to 7 seconds in terms of time to overheat. So you're going to be able to fire a lot less of those rapid shots before you can overheat. Time to cooldown drops by 3 seconds, but honestly, you know, you're not really overheating your weapons anyway. Void and Chasm losing a significant amount of damage, 1.7k down to 1.3k. Shot intervals, they're going to fire a little faster. Reload interval, they're going from 6 seconds to 8 seconds, and AoE damage was really low anyway, but you're losing 10% on that one. Argon and Oxy, once again, a random shot interval reduction. They just chuck these buffs and nerfs in here to like fluff out the content. But yeah, there we go. Now guys, moving on to the orbital support, and this is just about wrapping up the video here. The stealth is going from 10 seconds down to 6 seconds. So way less stealth, way less healing. And the healing to compensate is going up from 15% to 17% per second. Not bad, it's still going to be a pretty powerful ship. The Sechem, nobody cares about this ship, is losing 10,000 damage, and the slow duration's going up by 0.2 seconds. Honestly, it needed a buff, if anything, not a nerf, but here we are. The Keel, losing 10k damage, and the damage multiplier against Titans going up by 20%, making it 340%. I kind of get the keel, because it's really annoying to be hit with so many times. The Mute, effective radius from 90 to 95 meters, so Mute's staying pretty powerful. I know it's pretty prevalent in squad play. The Paladin, structural grey repairs if Aegis not fully depleted, increased by 1%. So you're going up to 16%. And guys, that pretty much wraps up all the nerfs as of now, and buffs, by the way. You know, there's not very many. And yeah, guys, if you managed to stick around this long, I really appreciate you having that attention span. Make sure to let me know in the comment section what you think of these nerfs and buffs, and how your hangar is going to change next update based on this information here. And once again, guys, subscribe, like the video, and support me using code NERDBOT in the web store. Peace out. See you in the next one.